Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Anda bersama dengan saya Nurhana Ismail dan anda sedang menyaksikan Bisnes Alternatif. Episod ini khas buat graduan yang baru saja tamat pengajian mereka di college atau universiti. Bagaimana anda hendak menggunakan peluang anda dan platform di social media yang sedia ada untuk mencari pekerjaan. Bersama-sama dengan saya untuk kali hari ini ialah The Social Media Guru, iaitu Elton Kwah, Marketing Director of Enrich Social Media and Columnist. Thank you so much for being with us in Business Alternative.
Yeah, welcome.
Alright, okay. Now we've seen many platforms in the social media. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have LinkedIn. Everything will get you connected to get hired.
Correct.
Okay. Now, first and foremost, what are the common misconceptions among fresh graduates, and especially when it comes to social media, and how can they get a job via these platforms?
Okay, basically I think it's a social media, it's a platform where people connect with each other. So the graduates will probably say that how would I project myself to their potential employers before I graduated, and they want to pursue what is a possible dream jobs for their career. So that is the first impression when I apply for a job. And what they will do is, in the old traditional way, without social media, they will just send resumes, email to the employer, and send them the details and say, can you please run
traditional ways?
Yes. And right now, because due to social media, the space becomes open, and potentially that the candidates will send through via LinkedIn invitation, for example, which is a social media platform for professionals, and then they'll pitch themselves to the employer that what is the things that I've done before in my college, or how do I sell myself better to say that I'm a more qualified candidate compared to the rest. Because in the form of today's industry, most of the jobs are very competitive, so everyone has a fight for their rights.
Okay, how do you see that these available social media platforms, just like we've mentioned, the Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, how can these actually help to get them connected more? Because we often see that, me myself, as a graduate, I actually use Twitter and Facebook, just to get connected with my friends, not to promote, and not to market myself. I don't know how to market myself through that, because, so how do you see that as a big potentials for them to get hired, get a job?
Okay, firstly, I say saying that based on my own experience, I actually hired somebody from LinkedIn before.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a developer that I found him through LinkedIn, and what impressed me was that the impression I found him through his skills. So I type in the keywords and says looking for developer, and his name just come up in the profile list. Of course, then what happens in it, that is description further, and I found it that the project they did is really awesome. I have never seen it yet, as much as graduates, and I double checked it on the Facebook profile. So in the Facebook profile, he happens to listed a portfolio of his work. So visually, immediately, I actually captured what I need to do for a job, because some things without social media, I wouldn't understand what he does and says. And to impress me further, he actually recorded 1-minute video on YouTube to add on and introduce himself and says that this is how I actually help my employers in my job. So that by itself, I'm more confident that he's a right candidate for the position in my company.
Now that's an interesting way to market yourself, right? Okay, now moving on. Is there any limitations that we should actually be aware of when it comes to marketing ourselves and get ourselves hired via social media platforms?
Okay, I think that's a more interesting point of coming to this. When I did hiring workers, for example, I think the workers should be aware of, the graduates should be aware of their own self-appearance. For instance, I would not caught myself in awkward positions where I go to drink in a bar or doing some hanky-panky activities and posted up by Facebook by someone else. That's some problems in that privacy where you just do a social activities, but somehow it got interpreted into the misunderstanding by employers that they are not serious candidate in their job. And secondly, I've noticed that when the graduates do their candidate profile applications, most of the information actually sometimes are incomplete. And makes it very hard for the potential employers to find out what suitability of the candidates have. And also they have a problem of communications. If let's say now, if the recent newspaper, they are commenting on how bad the English is, that is reflected when the candidates actually write their profile or write in the applications. And I get the emails that says, can you please look at my resume?
Now, do you suggest that we should do separate profiles?
Yes and no.
Okay. Yes, why? And no, why?
Okay. Yes means that because some people, they want to keep themselves connected to family and friends, and they do not want the information to be open. So therefore, they will set a personal profile, a separate ones for that purpose, for that matter. And the other ones, the second profile, which is more on business related. So they would need that to actually do more serious content and marketing to their potential people that they talk to. So that is where I would see the situation is yes. And what sense is no, it depends on the situations I've come across. They actually, like, I don't know what exactly I want to do in social media. So the first decision, they don't even really know. I've been talking to graduates like, why would you want to set up a Facebook profile yourself and put your pictures of an animal or anything to represent your face?
Okay.
So by default itself, I'm not clear of what is his intention in it.
I see.
So the intention of what you said through, maybe what you post, what pictures do you put in, actually tells a lot about a person.
Again, you have to have a clear intentions. Why you set up your profile via social media platforms in the first place, right?
Definitely.
Okay. Alright, we'll be talking more about this. This is getting interesting, Mr. Elton. Okay, selepas ini di Bisnes Alternatif, jangan ke mana-mana. Kalau anda tak dapat kerja, pastikan anda tonton Bisnes Alternatif setelah sini. Bertemu kembali di Bisnes Alternatif. Episod ini khas buat para graduan yang baru saja tamat pengajian dan anda sedang mencari pekerjaan, dan saya bersama dengan Social Media Guru bagaimana anda memanfaatkan dan market diri anda via social media. Alright, Mr. Elton Kwa, of all the social media platforms that you've actually discovered, which you think are the best and most effective ways, most effective for them to actually market themselves and get a job? Need a job.
Right. First one definitely is LinkedIn.
Okay.
Right.
Definitely. Obviously.
Obviously, right. Because the HR manager's target place is there, you actually know the company and what they're actually looking for in the job description. They'll mention it very clearly. Okay. And that is the first point where I would advise the graduates to go into. Okay. And secondly was that if you look at other social media platforms, they will actually have a link from LinkedIn profile. We'll be going to the YouTube site or in the Facebook personal profile page. If you notice, there's some applications in Facebook that actually does the job connections as well, as skill pages as one of the apps is Facebook page. So they can actually pitch to the people that they know as well for jobs. So that how people will actually search through your sites is one of the criteria that you mentioned. Okay,
now you see social media platforms as a tool for them to actually get a job, but via LinkedIn and stuff like that. But usually the employers, they would go for someone who has more experience. So how can these marketing skills via social media can help them, compete with those who are more experienced when it comes to, hunting for jobs?
Okay, so what is hunting for jobs? There are varieties of factors that comes in, and if, for example, some graduates due to lack of experience because they never worked before in the workplace, so therefore they need to show enthusiasm to the employers that they're willing to learn for a job, which is not some situations that in Malaysia today. These are being debated very heavily in the social media space and also in the job applications. How good is the candidate in the attitude? And secondly, I would say that when they project themselves via on social media as well, they will actually display how good their communication skill is, because the English skills, language communications becomes a very important factor.
Not just English, what you posted, because sometimes whichever that comes to your mind, you tend to put it as status. So whichever things that you've actually, it reflects your personality as well, right?
It does.
And not just your personality, but your maturity when it comes to debating new issues and hot debatable issues, right?
I mean, like say, if I picking up a point here, if I come across like example of cases where candidates actually put up a debate, put it in a form of blog post, and I just read the blog post and I say, hey, this candidate is very intelligent.
Interesting, right? Right, Elton, you also provide training and coach for those who would want to know more about this and want to be, better when it comes to this stuff. How do you get to you?
Basically, I think it's they can actually get to me via on my LinkedIn. That is the points that I read. I normally do the content articles. I write in the E27 Singapore. I do it in my forums, and I promote it from my website as well. Of course, in the normal conventional business way, online referrals does help in a sense. So that's a recent program that I'm running through right now. It's with SME Corp for the Women Entrepreneurs Program.
Okay.
And this program will be under evaluation of under Pemandu. And the objective of the program is actually to gauge how good women entrepreneurs, which are pre-selected, and whether they are going to get the results via the business on the internet.
Ah, I see. That's interesting. Elton, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. I think the tips that you have given is very beneficial and very helpful for our future candidates. Alright, thank you so much. Baiklah, Ustaz Sari, itu sahaja masa yang kita ada. Sebelum saya edit, kita lihat dahulu kod ini. Diharapkan episod kita pada hari ini memberi manfaat kepada para saudara di luar sana. Kita jumpa lagi. Bye-bye dan Assalamualaikum.